Hey gamers, welcome back to a brand new DSP video. We're going to be watching him discuss gamer news because he's a gamer. Now, before you ask, I will probably watch the politics stream and do a video about it sooner or later, whatever, eventually, probably very soon. I just did not want to include it into this video because I don't want a 5-hour plus video, I guess. So we're just gonna do gamer news, something a little light, and then I'll do the politics a little bit later. So there you go, because he had some takes. He had something cooking. It was something, to put it lightly. But anyways, let's get to the gamer news, because that's what we want to do right now. You know what I'm saying?
Hurry.
And yes, I got my automaton.
Keep screwing up. Here it is. Our next story this morning is in regards to Naughty.
The first story was like game preservation. It's like, okay, you know, it's whatever. Not game preservation. His take about it is whatever. It's like game preservation good. I know, crazy take, right?
Dog. In an interview with Ken Levin, Neil Druckmann, as we know, he is the head of Naughty Dog now, said that there are some updates regarding a new Naughty Dog game that's coming out next. It's been in development since 2020. Sony's going to announce it whenever they see fit. Basically, you know, they're ready to announce it and talk about it, but it's Sony's choice.
Okay.
He is the director of the game. Sony is not interfering with the work whatsoever. They're allowing him to have free creative reign of the game.
Uh-oh, guys, this is gonna be political. It's gonna be a game about something.
He's looking forward to revealing it to the world again when Sony's ready. And formerly, it was said that the game is likely a new IP. This is not going to be The Last of Us 3, but something different that I guess no one's really expecting. Okay? So here's the thing. If you like Naughty Dog, and you like...
You're reading this, and you're thinking in the back of your mind, okay, they're gonna announce a new game. That's gonna be something new. Okay, that's kind of cool. You know, like, because everyone is kind of like fatigued out of The Last of Us, because that's all Naughty Dog was releasing and talking about for the past like 5 years or whatever the fuck. So it's like, okay, cool, it's gonna be something new. I'm curious to see what it's gonna be. Now, a lot of people may not like Neil Druckmann, you know, for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons and all that other stuff, but we don't have to get into that. That gets into very you know, heated conversation or whatever. But there's a lot of reasons to dislike Neil Druckmann. There's a lot of reasons. DSP has a very unique reason to dislike him. That is completely out there. You're not gonna even guess what he dislikes Neil Druckmann for. It's gonna blow your mind. But anyways, that aside, that may be the only thing that you're thinking, okay, I'm not sure I'm gonna be into this. But other than that, it's gonna be like something new or whatever, right? That's all this is, and this is like a nothing story now. And the other thing is, this is stuff that DSP would say is a non-news story, because when he was told, Hey Phil, did you know that this actor is going to be in this movie? We don't even know who he's going to play. That's not really news. Wow, this guy's going to be in a movie? Okay, who's he going to be? Wow. Oh, it was, the guy who plays Kevin in Home Alone. I would say Mark, but I don't think that's his name. I'm spacing on his name. I know, like, his brother is Kieran Culkin. I can't remember the other... It's spacing on me. Whatever. That guy. Kevin! But that guy. He's like, okay, so he's gonna be in the fall TV show? Who's he gonna be? See, that's not really news, man. But you look at this. All this is saying is, Naughty Dog has a new game. Neil Druckmann's directing it. It's ready to be announced. That's really all it says. Like, there's really nothing new or, like, amazing by DSP's own standards. So this isn't news. Yet, he is reporting this as news.
Neil Druckmann and what he's done with this game studio in the last 5+ years.
Wait, what?
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
If you like Naughty Dog and you like Neil Druckmann and what he's done with this game studio in the last 5+ years, this is probably great news, right? However, I'd like to direct your attention to the comments on this post from this morning.
And of course, he's basing his entire opinion on comments, which is like so stupid. But the other thing is, he's just directing the game. Like, is he really the head honcho at Naughty Dog? Because I don't think a game director like has that kind of power. I mean, they may have like some say in the company, but I don't think he has like the end all be all. Like, he could be kicked from the company, I think. Whatever, okay.
I swear to you, I don't edit anything here on the show. Just take a look.
We know.
At the first comment. If he's the director of the new IP, I think I'll pass. I enjoy Druckmann's games, but I just much rather see someone else. See, another talent at Naughty Dog taking.
Okay, so I got so this this is like really funny to me in the sense that like this is still a nothing news. I mean, people can make a bad game and make a good game right after, whatever. But isn't it ironic, right? That they're saying, I don't want to see another game from Neil. I want to see something else. Meanwhile, anyone would jump up and down if it was, guys, Kojima is directing Death Stranding 2. And then let's say that Death Stranding 3 is coming out. It's like, okay, someone else is directing it. You think these people are going to be like, wow, something new? No, they're probably going to be like, where's Kojima? Bring on Kojima. Put him back on there. You know, whatever. Like, again, I understand. There's reason to dislike Neil Druckmann and all this stuff, but this guy is kind of funny. He likes his other games, but he wants something new from Naughty Dog. Like, how do you know Neil Druckmann is not going to direct Crash Bandicoot 5? I don't know, whatever. Like it's whatever. It's just a whatever comment. Like, in a vacuum on its own, it's fine. But since DSP is looking at this, I'm a little critical. You know what I'm saying?
Taking charge as well. I mean, it's true.
But even then, that's still just an opinion. Anyone could say, "Oh, I wish it was someone new. I don't like Druckmann or whatever the fuck." Like that is just an opinion. It's not really a criticism of Neil or anything. It's just I want to see something different. That's it. That's it.
True. Druckmann has directed everything that they've been doing recently. So it's kind of like his studio. What about other people? When do they get a shot? You know, sometimes having a...
Do you know who else is working there? Like, okay, this is where we're gonna slowly go off the rails, I guess. This dude is like, he reads... Okay, let's...
I mean, it's true. Pass. I enjoy Druckmann's games, but I just much rather see someone else. See, another talent at Naughty Dog taking charge as well. I mean, it's true.
It's true. What's true? Do you know who works at Naughty Dog? Like... Why are you acting as if you know someone there could make a good game director? Like, you know, this is the borderline issue with people like DSP who go into this, is that they have no experience into game development or anything creative at all, and act as if they know everything about making video games or making anything creative. Like, you could have a team of artists work on something. That doesn't mean that they'd also make good directors. Like, there's a lot of, like, things that, like, think about this. And just creating something in general. But, like, how like, who would he be thinking about that says that he wants someone new at Naughty Dog? Like, who in Naughty Dog has expressed that they've not gotten their time to direct? Like, do you know how the inner workings of Naughty Dog? No, you don't. No one does.
Druckmann has directed everything that they've been doing recently. So it's kind of like his studio. What about other people? When do they get a shot? You know, sometimes having other creative voices.
And I'm sitting there, like, thinking to myself, like, if it's such a big deal for someone else to get a shot at directing, where was this energy about other games? And then we see other games that have different directors. Guess what? I can't believe they're doing this without the original creator. Where's the original director? Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that suddenly, out of the blue, we all suddenly care about new talent. Meanwhile, when games actually get new talent to work on something, people hate on it sometimes. It's so easy for people like DSP to hide behind this as a way to, like, say, I want more creative people to work on this, but they don't care. DSP doesn't care. He only cares because he didn't like The Last of Us 2. If he liked this game, would he be joining these people and saying, we should get someone new? Come on.
Is make products feel a little different rather than just more of the same. So maybe that's a good point. Glad to hear that they don't intervene. Artists should be left to honing their craft. Give us another 10.
Wow! Wow! So here reads that one has a whole little speech. Oh, you should be able to like create stuff. Where's the other people? He reads an actual thing that says that artists should be left alone and be able to like create or whatever. That's it. That's all he gives. Because he really cares about fucking art, right? He really cares.
10 out of 10, Neil. So we do have some fans of Neil Druckmann here. I'm not.
Oh my god, this dude is doing this? Like, you're thinking, man, how is this gonna be negative? Don't worry, fam. DSP got you covered. The negativity is coming. Like, he reads people are like, because if this is all negative, he's like, there's no fans. See, everyone hates him. He sees people are like, oh, wow, cool. He's like, okay, wow, there are people who like him. I mean, wow, it's like there are people who like Last of Us 2 and there's people who don't like it. Like, this is like, annoying. DSP is annoying.
Not interested. I bet it will be diverse and inclusive. It's going to suck.
I bet it'll be diverse and inclusive. Okay, why are these bad things, Mr. Variety Man? Like, who fucking cares? Like, this is so... Oh my god.
It'll be gay and pretentious.
Wow, why do you laugh at that? You realize that he used gay in a derogatory manner that is not great? Okay, cool.
Thank God at least it's a new IP. I'm skeptical with him in charge, but a new IP is good. Pretty sure it confirms it will definitely be the new IP if it was in development since 2020. Now, here's an interesting one. I was actually waiting for a comment like this. Ready?
Of course he would! Of course he would! Because these fuckers don't know anything. Projects get canceled all the time. But the thing that this thing that he's gonna get into, it's incredibly dumb from him. Mr. Games, they should not do live service games. They should not do co-op games. No more co-op. No more multiplayer. All this stuff. He always complains about this shit. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna cancel it because no one wants it. Where is it? Why did they cancel it? Oh my god, dude, like, Jesus. Like, and things get canceled all the time. And you probably don't even know why they got canceled. Like, dude, things get canceled all the time. This is why a lot of people that I at least seen in the creative industry say that people should actually, at minimum, be impressed that something got released. Because a lot of times, either things get canceled or just, like, fucking destroyed or whatever the fuck. Like, a lot of things can happen. But this dude is sitting there like, where's this game that I would probably hate anyway?
After the whole Factions 2 catastrophe, wouldn't you think it'd be a bit eager to show people what they're working on? It's got to be in some kind of showable shape.
Yeah, let's show a game that might get canceled, and then, like, you know, complain about it being canceled, right? And again, I love that this is saying that they would love to show their work, right? The post literally says it's up to Sony. It's up to Sony to show it. They're ready to show it. It's up to Sony, you know, the company that's in charge of it. And you know, everyone just magically in this thread forgot Concord. I mean, it's very easy to forget Concord, to be fair, but Concord was a game that Sony, like, bagged and all this other stuff, and it fucking flopped. You would think in the back of your mind that Sony may at least be a little apprehensive showing a new IP at this point. They just showed a new IP, and it failed so fast and flopped so hard that you can't buy it anymore. I kind of don't think right now Sony is like ready to jump up and down to show new IPs at this point in time when people are probably gonna shit on this new IP anyway. Like, you know, and DSP's Mr. Timing is everything. Like, this is like insane.
If they've been working on it for 4 years plus. So if you don't know what they're talking about,
What are you talking about, Phil?
when
Tell
The
me.
Last of Us 2 was releasing, it was supposed to have a multiplayer mode. It was actually originally advertised and sold as a game that had a multiplayer mode, just like The Last of Us 1 had a multiplayer mode.
But now this is a thing that's really like weak, right? When The Last of Us 1 came out and it had a multiplayer mode, how many people talked about it? Probably not a lot, because people talked about the single player. Now, when you're buying Last of Us 2, what are you buying it for? You're probably buying it for the story, right? And the single player. Like, it not having a multiplayer isn't like the biggest disappointment. Like that, like it's kind of like the same thing with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 when that had no story mode. You saw some people say like, you know, there's really no need for it to have a story mode because people play Call of Duty for the multiplayer and all this other stuff. And they tried to experiment saying, well, look, okay, we'll just sell the multiplayer. And people didn't like that. And then they went back and said, okay, we'll include the story mode, whatever. But I think it's easy to justify a single player mode than it is a multiplayer mode. In the sense that when you're making a game with a story, that's like what you're focusing on. The multiplayer is like a nice addition, and if it's good, that's great, you know? But at the same time, like, it's easy to sell a single player game. When you're selling just a multiplayer game, you really have to have the game be really good on a multiplayer level and all this other stuff and justify not having an offline single player mode. Like, there's a lot more stuff to go into that. But Last of Us 2, like, no one bought that game for the multiplayer. Like, come on.
Okay? During development, while people already had pre-ordered the game, essentially, and were already sold on buying The Last of Us 2, Neil Druckmann came out and announced, oh, we're not going to be doing that anymore. We've decided that the multiplayer mode has become so hefty, so substantial.
That's kind of wrong. I think they delayed the multiplayer mode initially when Last of Us 2 came out, and then they announced that it was gonna be its own game, like a GDC or some, not GDC, either Gamescom. I think it was Gamescom. They announced it was gonna be a multiplayer standalone game. Like, it was delayed. Then at that show, they said it's gonna be a standalone game. So it wasn't like automatically that was the case.
We're putting so much time, effort, and work into it that we're splitting it off from The Last of Us 2, and we're going to sell it as a separate game. Now, I know that originally we promised you that Last of Us 2 was going to have this multiplayer mode, but hopefully you understand we want this to be the best product possible, and that's just not possible as part of Last of Us 2. Please buy Factions 2 when it releases as its own individual game later down the road.
Didn't they also say Factions 2 is going to be a free-to-play game? I mean, it could have been a free-to-play game. Again, this is also during the period of time where Sony was, like, wanting a strong initiative for live service games. So, you know, just think about that.
The road. And the fans of Naughty Dog 100% gave Neil Druckmann the benefit of the doubt. They said, you know what? This guy's put out good games before.
Oh my god,
you trust
dude.
him. If he says this, he must be telling the truth.
No one said this. It was just, oh, it's gonna be a big enough game to be a standalone. Okay, whatever. And then they moved on with their life. DSP loves making it sound as if it was some like dramatic thing that was like, oh my god, Neil said this. I believe him. Like no one worships developers like this. Where they're just like, oh, I trust him, man. Like, whatever.
We see no issue with this. Yes, we will pay money for a full-fledged multiplayer game because we like the multiplayer so much in Last of Us 1 and we're craving more. Let's have him work on that separate, and let's just have...
No one talked about the multiplayer mode in Last of Us 1, like, in any meaningful way. The most you may see is people saying, wow, this is fun. And that's it. You're not gonna see guys saying, wow, Like, and it's so funny, right? This is the guy that says no one's really talking about this game. No one is like really saying anything. Yet somehow everyone in the world is jumping up and down for Last of Us multiplayer, which I've never heard of. But DSP apparently heard a lot of people love this multiplayer mode to great lengths. Jeez.
Last of Us 2 come out and be its own game, like a narrative single player game. So some people saw it as a bait and switch. I sure did. Because again, Last of Us 2 had
How
been.
is it a bait and switch when you're buying the game that is known for the story? Like, you would have to be an incredible idiot to sit there and be like, I'm gonna buy Last of Us 2 for the multiplayer. Especially when at launch the game didn't have it. Like, come on, man.
Advertised as a game that was going to get multiplayer, and then they decided last minute to not have it, which is kind of bullshit. But we're like, all right, so let's see what happens with this Factions 2 game. Well, what happened was they developed it for 2 more years, and then they canceled it.
Yeah.
They just
But do you know why it got canceled? I don't think they ever even explained why it was canceled, but projects get canceled all the time. Like, dude, things get canceled.
canceled the whole project. So then Neil came out and said, well, we hope you understand. We had never done a full-fledged multiplayer game before, and even though we put a lot of time and effort into it, it just wasn't up to our standards, so we decided to can it and work on what we do best. And it's like, wait a minute. You promised this game as part of The Last of Us 2.
Oh my god, you know, and this is really ironic coming from DSP, right? Who fucking promised stuff and never delivered. Guys, I'm gonna do an interview series that's gonna be so cool, and it's gonna not just be about drama. Guess what? All of the interviews have been about drama, and then after that, he never did it again. Because he didn't want to work with anyone, but everyone he wanted to work with, he wanted to talk about drama with them. Why didn't he try to get someone else and not talk about drama? That's too hard. What else did he promise? Oh, the Krabby Patty. He didn't, like, think about that at all, and then was like, oh, okay, well, we can't do that because they don't sell it anymore. Even though he could have, like, ordered it earlier, maybe he could have just done a shorter streak goal to do the Krabby Patty thing instead of waiting a full week to do that. And now he's gonna do this new thing, this Taco Bell thing. Then we have to think about another one. And then if he gets like $40,000 total, he would play Silver Blade. Okay. But what if something happens that they force you to cancel it? Like, things get canceled all the time. And the thing is that if, let's say that they release Factions 2 and it sucks ass, guess what DSP is gonna say? If they knew it was this bad, why did they cancel it? All this shit, right? Look at Suicide Squad. He was like telling them that they should have canceled that game. Now, that is what happened here. But again, a lot of things can happen from when you announce something to when you're working on it. Things get canceled all the time. And now he's like saying all this stuff. It's like, so you want them now to announce a new game that may not even happen. Again, Sony's coming off of a big failure of Concord. You think they're gonna immediately announce a brand new IP for people to buy when the last one failed? Okay.
He bought The Last of Us 2. It was supposed to be a single-player game with multiplayer just like the first one. Then you sold us the lie that you were going to make the multiplayer better and its own separate game.
How was it a lie? The game didn't even come out. What was the lie? It was just, hey guys, the idea that we have for Factions 2 is way bigger than what we planned for Last of Us 2, so we're gonna make it its own game. That's all that was said. And of course they're gonna say like PR spin, like, oh, it's gonna be revolutionary, blah 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 buzzwords. I mean, dude, they showed it at a game show. You want them to sit there like, guys, we're making a multiplayer mode. We don't know if it's gonna be good. It could suck, guys, but it's gonna be its own thing. Like, come on. Like, of course they're gonna say, oh, it's gonna, with all these buzzwords, but there wasn't like a lie in the sense that like that it was certain to be good or whatever the fuck. They just said it's gonna be its own game. That doesn't really mean anything. They didn't even give a date. They might have given a year, but I don't even think they gave like a hard date about when it was gonna be released. Anything can happen to anything that gets announced, stupid.
Game, and we bought the lie. We said, all right, benefit of the doubt. Now you're screwing us. We paid for Last of Us 2 and only got the narrative. We didn't get the multiplayer. And now you're not ever going to give us the multiplayer. We were even willing to pay for it. And you're still not going to give it to us? No. So
they should have just made a shitty multiplayer, right? And then release it. And then DSP would buy it because he's an idiot. And then he's going to cry that, oh, they nickel and dimed us, guys. Fucking find a bridge.
Essentially, what it is I feel he thought the meat of Last of Us 2 was going to be his narrative.
Again, guys, who the fuck played Last of Us only for the multiplayer? Like, come on. You bought Last of Us 1, you played the story mode, you love the story, right? They announced a sequel. What are you thinking about when the sequel is coming out? Oh, I want to see what the story is going to be like. No one is saying there's like, oh, I hope the multiplayer is there. Come on.
That's what it was. It wasn't really based on the gameplay elements. It wasn't based on the sound design. It wasn't based on the locations.
Wait,
or
what?
It was going to be his narrative.
This is... Oh my god, dude. This is like awful.
That's what it was.
Last of Us 2 is... Oh my god.
Essentially, what it is I feel now you're not ever going to give us the multiplayer. We were even willing to pay for it.
I just want to hear this.
And you're still not going to give it to us?
This is like...
No.
Oh my god.
So he lied, essentially. What it is I feel he thought the meat of Last of Us 2 was going to be his narrative.
His narrative. I mean, sure, he directed the game, but at the same time, anyone who worked on the game, it could have been anyone. Just throw anyone in there. What do you think they're gonna naturally think about when they are working on Last of Us 2? The fucking story! The single player! Hello?
That's what it was.
Like, guys, this is really like, if let's say MGS5, right? Okay, actually, no, I can use MGS5 as an example. They have an online mode in MGS5, but it only had one DLC and it got dropped after that, and it's barely supported at this point. It's just kind of there as like a fucking like dead thing. Like, you can just play it and play against like two people, whatever the fuck. It's like a whatever mode. Should I be upset? Because I bought MGS5, right? I liked MGO 1 and 2. 2, it was pretty good. I liked 2 a lot. But, and MGO2 was in MGS4. I like the online. But when MGS5 came out, right? Should I be, like, upset that, oh, this game only came out with a single player and the online just feels kind of tacked on and, like, just kind of there? I don't care. Like, yeah, the MGO and MGS5 is kind of lame and, like, disappointing, but I did not buy MGS5 for that. I bought it for MGS5. Like, I can go on about that game. There's stuff I mean, it's a disappointing game, don't get me wrong, but I did enjoy the game all the same. But I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, man, the online mode, guys, the online mode.
It wasn't really based on the gameplay elements. It wasn't based on the sound design. It wasn't based on the locations or the environments. It was based on...
Dude, all these things are part of the game anyway. And people did like the soundtrack. There are good songs in Last of Us 2, believe it or not. I think it was the composer of Mr. Robot that worked on the soundtrack, so of course it's good. But there were good things in that game. But guess what? People liked it for the story, and guess what people didn't like? The story. So guess what? A lot of people didn't like the game because of that. When you bring up Last of Us 2, everyone talks about how the story is disappointing. And not at all anything else about the gameplay or anything else, because that's why people bought the game. But if you look at the gameplay is actually kind of solid. But the story is like the big selling point of the fucking franchise. This dude is so stupid. He thinks the story only matters because Neil worked on it. No, dum-dum. The story has been a key factor for The Last of Us anyway, because that's what all people talked about in the first game.
And his narrative. That's what he thought was the most important part. What is there not any of in a multiplayer game? Narrative. So because there is no narrative involved with Factions 2, he didn't give a fuck about it. He had people work on.
This dude is insane. The level of hate he has for Neil Druckmann is like insane. I can't believe how the fucking delusion he's forcing himself to go through to shit on a guy. There's a lot of things to dislike about Neil Druckmann. You don't need to try this hard. This dude is making it sound as if this dude is like going through life thinking about all this stuff in a petty ass way when all he did was just make a bad story. And maybe he was full of himself because he said like the lines like not all games need to be fun, but it's like, but that quote is like kind of misconstrued because when you think about video games as art, like you can make it in any way and all this stuff. There's games that are purposely made in a bad way to make you feel something about what you're playing and this and that. I mean that's just the nature of art. You may not like that, and that's a criticism, sure, but it is what it is with this, and you may not like it for that because you may think, well, Last of Us should not be seen as this like very artistic piece because it's a zombie story and zombies are passe and all this other shit. Fine, but this dude is like going on and on as if like Neil Druckmann is sitting there like just going about his life, just thinking about how anything can benefit him. This is lunacy. This is just as delusional as Neil, maybe more so.
On it, and after a while he realized, man, it's going to be too expensive, it's going to be too much of a work and undertake, and I want to get back to making my narrative again, so we have to get back to that, so fuck this game, and he canceled it.
How do you know that's why he canceled it, stupid? And I love that it's like, it costs too much money. Okay, let's say that's why they canceled it, right? Guess what DSP says, right? Game companies spend too much money on games that won't sell. So then, it was a good idea to cancel it because if it costs too much money. This dude is so stupid. He complains about how game companies overspend, spend resources on games that no one's asking for, and I guarantee if Factions 2 came out and it sucked ass, he would say, okay guys, so Factions 2 bombed miserably. Now, I got a question, guys. Who bought Last of Us for the multiplayer? Yeah, no one! Because guess what? Like, people like Last of Us for the story, but Mr. Neil thinks that, we want a multiplayer mode. Neil, hello? Mr. Neil, no one wants multiplayer. Look at games like Suicide Squad that flapped or Concord. But now that this game is canceled and we don't know the quality of it, this game would have been so beautiful if it came out, and it would revolutionize video games. Like, this dude is such a piece of shit. Oh, oops, I did not mean to fast forward.
Do you really think that the game devs working on the game wanted to see all their hard work get canceled and just...
Guess what? Not all the game devs or people who work in this industry can have a say about what gets released and all this other stuff. A lot of people work on stuff and things get canceled and get NDA'd, so you'll never know. There's a lot of stuff that gets canceled that no one will know because of NDAs. Stupid. Like, dude, come on. Like, look at Uzumaki. The anime adaptation that came out recently. Episode 1 was really good. Everyone loved it. And the rest of the show just plummeted in quality. Like my videos. If you look at like the interviews and the articles that came out after the fact, you see like they were faced with three options: either release episode 1 and cancel the rest, cancel the show entirely, or just upload what they had and make it work and like whatever. And they chose the latter. Now, of course, they could always choose the others, and those. And a lot of people had other opinions. Some say like, oh, they should just cancel it entirely because no one should, it makes them look bad or whatever. Some say that they should just showed the one episode as like a proof of concept and then just leave it at that, whatever. And it's something like the ladder that they picked, where it's like just release it all, because at least it honors or shows the work that was put into it, the best that they could with what was going on, working with Adult Swim and all this other stuff. Like there's all these options, and all of those options, those three options, like you can have your personal pick which one they should have done. They all suck. They all suck. It's a lose lose lose, because you know with the latter, people did not like the other episodes and said that was a bad adaptation and all this other stuff. If they did the other one, then it would have left you wanting more that you're never gonna get. Then if they just killed it entirely, you will never know what could have been, whatever, and it would have gone to the ether, and you would never have seen it again, and all this other shit. Like, it's not easy to make these decisions, and for him to act as if like canceling is some frivolous notion that people just do for fun is really wild and insane. And it just shows how ignorant he is to just the process of making anything. Like, it's not easy and it's hard, especially when you have investors that are like, we want a return on this, and you can't go over budget. Oh, you went under budget, you went too far over budget, whatever. There's all these like things that get in the way of creating anything. And this dude is acting as if like canceling is some like frivolous thing. Like, come on, man.
Thrown away? Of course not. They want their game to come out. But that's Neil Druckmann. He's an egomaniac. He controls his studio based on his own desires and whims.
But what if these other game developers agree with him? Like, DSP says this, but do we know if the other game devs of Naughty Dog wanted this game to come out? He's saying this of speculation. He's speculating that all these game devs wanted this to come out. What if they all agree with Neil that this game sucks? What if they told Neil, hey, cancel this game. This game sucks ass. He doesn't know that. Because guess what? We're not privy to the inner workings of any fucking video game company. My God, man.
And because his games have sold, he gets to do that. Sony plays hands off. Hey, if his games sell, we don't give a shit. So he's over there.
How does he know that Sony didn't have a say in canceling this game either? Again, there's all these things that he doesn't know, and he's going off of just the assumption of, I hate Neil Druckmann, and it must be Neil's fault. And I get, like, come on, man. Imagine if DSP was in Neil's shoes. Okay, let's say the roles are reversed, right? DSP is Neil, and Neil is DSP. And Neil is saying all this stuff about DSP. You think DSP would agree with this? No, he wouldn't. So this guy, man, imagine if a game developer came out, like Neil, talking about DSP shit talking them. Okay, guys, this guy, fucking Darkside Neil, is saying that, like, I'm an egomaniac and I canceled The Last of Us multiplayer because, like, I care for my own narrative? Wrong! Everyone was telling me we should cancel it! Everyone agreed with me! Bleh. But yeah, this dumb fuck no-load, Darkside Neil, who thinks he knows how games are made. Like, this dude is insane.
Throwing his power around, making his employees likely feel like shit, because they just made a game that probably was playable fine, and he's like, wait, there's no narrative in this. Fuck this game. Shit can it.
Oh my god. Oh my god, man.
Fuck you, Neil.
Fuck you,
How about
Neil.
you make good games first and worry about pushing your narrative second?
Where's the source on this? I love that he gets to speculate all this about Neil, but we can't speculate about him. When we speculate about what DSP does, that's insane stalker-like behavior, and we're stupid and insane for that. Meanwhile, Neil is just working in the game industry, and DSP has all this laundry list of conspiracy theories as to why Neil is the way he is, and that's fine. Okay.
So, quite frankly, I don't really like the guy. I think you guys know this. Ever since Last of Us 2, this guy's true colors were shown with the way he behaved around that game and everything. Just absolutely despicable. And it just...
He's despicable. Okay, Mr. Crush the goals, crush the trolls. When you give me money and we hit the goals, the trolls seethe, right? Okay.
continues to this day, right? So when you say to me, Oh, look at this. He's the director. I was hoping it would be someone else. Nothing against him after part 2 and focusing on Last of Us show. Oh, look at this.
Look at this. Look at this. By the way, he doesn't say Jesus. He doesn't want to say the Lord's name in vain. This is a Catholic household, apparently.
He's the director. I was hoping it would be someone else. Nothing against him after part 2 and focusing on Last of Us show.
Last of Us show? Huh? Wow, this dude is so stupid.
Oh, the TV show. I would hope he
Okay.
wouldn't be the director of the next game. Exactly. So what's basically happened is that
But, like, people like the show, though. Oh, because, like, it went off script and didn't, like, follow the game at all? Okay.
people know that Naughty Dog is actually Neil Druckmann Studios. Like, they should just call it that. They should actually rename it Neil Druckmann Studios.
Oh my god. Yeah, so then people like DSP can say, guys, look, he named it Neil Druckmann Studios. He has a fucking mental problem. Whatever the fuck, right?
Because that's all it is. He's taken a studio that used to be around franchises, right? I mean, take a look at the poster here. Nathan Drake, Ellie and Joel, Crash Bandicoot, Jack and Daxter.
Oh my
Now you could
God.
just delete this picture and just put a face of Druckmann there, and that's Naughty Dog now. Whatever Druckmann says goes. Druckmann is in charge. Druckmann's narrative, Druckmann's initiative, Druckmann.
Man. Imagine if he actually was a fan of Kojima of Metal Gear Solid. He would probably say, okay, guys, let's put a picture of Kojima on top of Konami.
Let me give you guys a news flash, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, no one likes Neil Druckmann.
By the way, he like was in love with Kojima apparently. When Konami was like, yeah, let's get rid of him. Let's like put him in a room and lock him up. Like all this stuff about MGS5, then he got let go. What was Kojima? What was DSP saying at the time? This poor guy, man. But now when Neil's in charge, right? Fuck this guy. Let's not let him do things.
Even Hollywood. Initiative, Druckmann. Let me give you guys a news flash, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, no one likes Neil Druckmann.
Why? Now is he gonna go about the all their stuff about Neil that people don't like about him? No, because that's too political. He doesn't want to do that, man. That's scary. He may divide his audience even more.
Even Hollywood. He made The Last of Us TV.
This is like a really stupid point. Hollywood doesn't like him. Okay, if you let's say that you just made a show, no one knows of you, but you made a show that was a hit. Like, it did like Last of Us numbers, right? You go to Hollywood. You think a lot of people are gonna be like fawning over you? No, Neil Druckmann was just there. I mean, of course, it's a silly situation that someone took a picture of it and like it looked really silly, but that's just how it is. But DSP is like taking it so personally when it's just like, yeah, he just went to an award show and like, yeah, like he wasn't gonna get an award, right? Correct? Whatever.
TV show, and then he went to Hollywood. And he thought, oh, I'm going to be, like, lauded in a...
By the way, he got invited, I think. I think, like, if your show gets nominated, you get invited to the award shows that it's at. Like, I'd assume that's the case. It wasn't like Neil went there uninvited and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out. Whatever.
Applauded, and I'm going to be invited to direct all these new projects, and that never happened. He literally went to...
How does he know that he went there with the intention of making movies? You realize that Kojima is also supposedly making movies. Where is that, DSP? Why didn't you talk about that?
One of these media events, stood on the red carpet. No one took his picture.
By the way, this is DSP has always said Kojima should make movies. Okay, stop making games, make movies. A dude that would probably benefit from that criticism, like Neil Druckmann, right? He thinks that, wow, you're failing so hard, man. Like, dude, he just went to an award show. How do you know his intent as to why he was there?
Picture, because no one knew who the fuck he was, and nobody gave a shit. Neil Druckmann is a wannabe. He wants to be a ultra-leftist liberal Hollywood guy. But
what?
No one likes him.
What? He's a wannabe. He wants to be ultra leftist liberal Hollywood guy. Oh my god, DSP, this dude is insane.
So what's funny is he gets over making these games, but no one gives a fuck about him in the big scheme of things. Only his most big fanboys of his games. That's about it. And now he has an entire studio that he's basically controlling. And now a studio that used to make this amount. You want to talk about real diversity, right?
Real diversity. Okay.
Your diversity, an action platformer, a horror game, a platformer, an action.
Yeah, but like these bottom games, they don't make anymore. I mean, I don't think they do Crash anymore. I think it's Activision now or whatever the fuck. Jack and Daxter, we're not seeing them ever again. Like the diversity, I guess you could say, is the genre that you said earlier about like adventure, survival horror, whatever the fuck you want to call The Last of Us. Even though you can even say that's also action, whatever. But they're still going for like a realistic style. There's no like mascot platformer or anything that has any like soul to it or whatever. It's just these movie-like games. Whatever, okay.
Platformer. They were making diverse, interesting games. Now what do they make? We don't even know. We literally don't even know what the next game is. Because he ruined his fucking studio because he's an egomaniac.
Neil made one game and it just was bad, and it was bad because a lot of people like said, well, for the sequel it you know, didn't work out very well because, you know, all this other stuff that Last of Us 2 was building off of. Who is to say an original idea wouldn't be good? We have no evidence that it won't be good. And again, this is it's so insane that this dude is getting mad that the next game may be a narrative game. Again, we don't know what the next game is going to be at this point. But let's say it's a narrative game. Guess what DSP likes? Narrative games. But now he's suddenly magically all about multiplayer games. Why isn't Naughty Dog making a multiplayer game? Jesus Christ, man. I guarantee you, when that new game comes out, I guarantee he's gonna go in it with a hate boner. It's gonna be the Cyberpunk of Sony games. He's gonna pretend as if this is Cyberpunk from Naughty Dog. He's gonna go in wanting to hate it, and he's gonna be so passive aggressive about it. But this guy is fair and open-minded, right?
Before Naughty Dog was in control of Druckmann, it was a much better studio that made much better, more diverse games. Now it's all about whatever Druckmann wants, he gets. It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It really is. Sony shouldn't give him free reign to do whatever he wants. They should be paying attention to this guy. Because what is this next game that he's making exactly? Is it anything anyone's going to want? Or is it another narrative-based, push-it-down-your-throat bullshit game?
This dude wants narrative games, though. That's what he wants. I love that this is like him slowly trying to like pretend that he is not what people say he is. And it's like, oh, I actually like all games. I like variety, blah, blah, blah. But you can find a lot of rants where he's going on and on about how he wants games to be meaningful and tell good stories and just be good. But now suddenly he's all for multiplayer games, platformers, all these other genres that he said was archaic. He said platformers are archaic.
And that, you know, he'll polarize the audience again with his rhetoric.
You know, I hope he does. I hope when he makes his next game, it pisses everyone off. I hope it does. It probably will. Why not, right? I hope it has a woman in it and she has a jaw, and then she's gonna be like, girl power, and then like, you know, and the bad guy, it's a white man. Yeah, they should do that. Fuck it.
And then he'll get people rallying behind it and buying it for the feel goods instead of actually, you know, because it's good.
This dude, like, you know, there's all this brain rot going on about like all this like rhetoric about culture war bullshit, whatever, right? This dude, like, he really took that brain rot and ran with it to the point where like his brain is destroyed. The fact he's saying that Neil Druckmann was monetizing a feel-good movement with Last of Us 2 is the most tone-deaf thing you could even say. Last of Us 2 is not a feel-good game. If anything, everyone say, "Oh, this game makes me feel like shit." That's not a feel-good game. And all this other stuff, like there's all this like context surrounding that he's just glossing over, that he's ignoring.
Which is a shame because we know Naughty Dog can make good games. They've made many good games before, but Neil won't let them. Neil instead makes it all about himself and his cringy fucking politics and shit instead of making
Cringy
good video
fucking
games.
politics.
Last of Us 2 is a fine game. Why did we have to hear so much bullshit about politics when it came?
So Neil's supposed to control the everyone? Like, you know, again, when you play Last of Us 2, you're gonna notice something very funny about it. The game doesn't really have a lot of politics in it. The way he's describing it. Because you play the game, it's just about revenge is bad and no one comes out the winner. The only politics that people bring up is that there's a trans character in it, and there's a muscular woman in it. These are just characters. And like, again, the tale of fucking revenge is as old as time. And then it's like, well, then there's lesbians in it. So what? Okay, wow. Not Riley. The other girl, I don't remember her name, and Ellie get it on it with pot. Do you know that they're in a fucking shelter that's so privileged because it has electricity and fortified walls and like clickers barely show up? I mean, that's kind of the definition of a privileged society in that kind of time. Like, come on! This dude does not understand at all what was shown in the game. A lot of people have an issue because of the, of just the story. Like, they like Joel as a character. All these dads showed Joel, and they kill him off at the very beginning of the game. Like, I understand why people don't like that. I didn't mind that because it's like, whatever. I like, you know, it's a bold risk to take. And I'll always appreciate risks like that, for better or for worse. I mean, it could be a bad decision, all the same, but like, there's stuff I at least appreciated in Last of Us 2. But this dude is sitting there like, wow, man, they're doing all this other stuff. Like, what? Like, dude, come on. And this dude always complains when people are not allowed to do the art that they want to make and this and that, which says a lot when this dude was hand waving all these people saying, let artists make what they want. He's like, oh yeah, okay, man. And then when you saw people saying they should not be allowed to make this, he's all for that. This dude is such a fake fan of art. Like, it is disgusting. This is disgusting. This dude's saying like, oh man, games are art. And then when something challenges him at all, this is terrible. This is stupid. This crumbles after, like, under the pressure of like being challenged. And again, you don't have to like it. Just because something challenges you doesn't mean you have to like it or dislike it or whatever. But this dude just has no thought as to what was being shown to him.
Came out because Neil had to make the whole game about that. It's his fault. No one else. He was the director. He was the one who created all the media frenzy on social media about it and everything.
He just responded to people about it. The thing he's gonna bring up that he loves to bring up, right, is just him throwing out something that he apologized for. He just said, oh, to piss off the bigots, vote for Last of Us 2. Like, if you're not like I said this all the time, man. If you're not a bigot, then you shouldn't be offended, man. But it's still like a very like broad stroke fucking statement that he apologized for. But at the end of the day, who fucking cares, man?
Buy of Last of Us 2 is sticking it to the bigoted trolls.
Again, this is the guy that says that every day, crushing my goals, crushing the trolls. Seethe, my trolls, seethe. The trolls, they get in and I make so much money, man. Okay, dude.
Fucking stupid. So yeah, I'll be honest, I don't like this guy. I just don't. I think that he's an asshole. I think that he needs to prove that he can make good games again, and he hasn't done that in a very long time.
Okay, so he's making a new game, right? You're not... Like, again, he's acting as if, like, he never made a good game and he needs to prove himself. Well, maybe this new game is gonna prove himself. But again, I fucking hate that this guy looks at these situations and says that this is gonna be all on the line. And it's kind of stupid, right? Like Starfield. This was the game that was gonna put Bethesda back on the map. It was a do or die moment for Bethesda. What came up before Starfield that was so bad? Like, I can't even think of it. Uh, I mean, I know they like had like Ghostwire Tokyo because of the merger with them, Evil Within. Uh, but that was like mostly Tango GameWorks anyway. Fallout 4. But he liked Fallout 4. Like I can't think of like why, like what about Starfield that made that be the do or die game? Oh, because Microsoft bought it and all this other stuff. But it's like these are just games, and like things happen all the time. Whatever. Okay.
When this new IP comes out, I'm very interested. What is it? What kind of game is it? Is it? It better not be another third-person action game that plays just like Uncharted or just like last.
But you like third-person action games. He said that we want more of that. He loved God of War. He loved the new God of Wars. He loved Goose of Tsushima, and all this other stuff. And he wants more of that. But now, oh, this is too much, man. Okay.
Last of Us, and then he just shoves his fucking politics into it. It better be a good game. Because at this point, I think the veil is being removed and people are realizing he ain't God's gift to gaming, right? He made this
Oh
fucking
my
TV
God.
show and it was cringe half the time because the themes were changed. The game, I mean, there weren't even fucking zombies in a zombie TV show. Like, what the hell was he thinking?
Because The Last of Us isn't. Whatever. Okay.
So
Sure.
let's see what
Why
happens,
not?
all right? I mean, I want Naughty Dog to come back. I don't want Naughty Dog to go into obscurity because this one asshole is at the helm. But at this rate, especially with the way things are going, because let's be honest, as I said, in culture and
This is. Get ready for mega stupidity, guys. Mega stupidity.
in life, the pendulum swings, correct?
Correct. The pendulum swings. It swings like this, right?
At one point, the pendulum was all the way over here. But guess what? We just had an election.
Guess
And
what?
now the pendulum is swinging all the way back. No one's going to buy his
This is incredibly fucking stupid. Are you 2 years old? So we have Trump as president, right? Suddenly, magically, all these liberal progressive themes are gonna just go away? DSP, there are people who still believe in those progressive values you seem to randomly decide to hate now. Like, there's still people that want to make those stories. Guess what? Because when people enter the creative field, a lot of times, a lot of the stories come from real experiences that they want to adapt into another story or whatever the fuck. This happens all the time in fucking anything. Do you know why people create anything at all?
bullshit narrative again. Here. But guess what? We just
And how does the president dictate culture? Like, think about that. That's the other thing. How the fuck does the president affect culture? It may affect like other things in life, but if I believe in like all these like liberal progressive themes or whatever the fuck, why the fuck would Trump stop me from thinking that? Is he gonna thought police me? Is he gonna come into my house and be like, Theo, enough of your bullshit. It's time for you to like, go and die. Pfft. No. Like, oh, I mean, at least I hope not.
had an election. And now the pendulum is swinging all the way back.
Like, so you're telling me that all these people who may relate to more of these progressive stories or trans characters, because since Trump is president, they're all just not gonna like buy anything that may show that or anything, or that these people are not gonna make stories about that. Like, I mean, if we're gonna go through this logic, we had Biden and then Stellar Blade came out. So, like, what about that? Right? Correct? What about that? What about that, Phil? I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking point I heard from, and it really shows a lot of like how he understands how anything works. Like, that's not at all how it works. And you can even argue, if anything, having a Trump as president, right, may even push people to push more progressive stories as a way to rebel against the norm or whatever the fuck. Like, dude, it's the people that are making these stories that want to tell the stories that they want to make, and he's telling them like, well, since the president has changed, well, no one's gonna buy it. So we buy products based on the president. Like, how much of a sheep is this guy? This dude, like, come on.
No one's gonna buy his bullshit narrative again. So he's better make a good fucking game this time.
How the fuck does that make sense? So Trump is president. We're not gonna buy the narrative of like of there being trans people or lesbians. What? Like, this is quite the logic leap, and I guarantee if you push him on this, he's gonna like be like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this and this and that, because this dude is like, he just says things. He just says things, and it's like, it's so obvious he's saying things because he thinks it sounds good. Not at all what he's saying and the meaning behind what he's saying. Because this dude is a child, and you know, I watched the political stream to get a little bit into that. I can't believe this dude is 40 years old. I was floored by the shit I was hearing by this guy. Like, man, I'm telling you right now, you may cringe at what I say and my politics and this and that, but I can at least feel safe that I'm probably, compared to him, more coherent with what I believe than what he believes. And all this other stuff. Like, I just can't believe this shit I was hearing. This dude is insane. He's a lunatic. Like, like, a lot of people say that the way he is because he's sheltered and he's like in his little echo chamber and all this stuff. And you know, that is a factor. But I kind of don't believe that other sheltered people are this dumb. Like, I don't even think that they're that dumb. Because to some degree, even if you're getting your news on Twitter, you can at least fact check. Like, there are times I read a tweet and I'm like, okay, I want to delve a little bit into it. I may delve into seeing where did they get the claim. Okay, I'm gonna like try to find a news story that correlates with this. I may do the legwork to find where things are being said sometimes. But this dude does nothing. He did try. To be fair, he did try to research when he was talking about abortions. But he used it to make another dumb point. It's so... I can't believe this guy. I can't believe this guy is real. As he's giving me this fucking face. Like, I just... This dude is insane. I gotta save this face. I gotta save this image. Like, I can't believe the shit I hear from him.
Or he's fucked. And then so will Naughty Dog be, and that's not right, because those game developers are good at what they do, and they shouldn't be dragged down into the mud with this asshole.
Didn't a lot of people leave Naughty Dog anyway? Okay, clap into the mic.
Let's continue, folks.
Don't worry,
guys.
There
are many stories to cover today.
There's more stupidity to come. Don't you worry. He will. He's not done until your brain is obliterated.
Our next story concerns Bethesda workers going on strike because of Ghost, Versatile, and...
Okay. Bethesda workers go on strike. I saw this news story and I knew DC was going to talk about this. But let's just let DSP discuss it, right?
Delicious whey protein. Oh shit. Got distracted by an ad, sorry. No. Bethesda workers go on strike against Microsoft. After failing to reach a new deal with Microsoft, Bethesda's QA workers are staging a brief strike and demanding better terms. This is interesting because they just formed a union over there. It's like they just formed the union. And now that the union is formed, they're immediately taking advantage of it and going on a strike. So let's read this. Last year, quality assurance workers at Bethesda and ZeniMax Studios formed ZeniMax Workers United, the largest certified video game union in the United States. Now that union is putting its collective power to a test with a brief strike against Bethesda and ZeniMax's parent company, Microsoft. They've been attempting to negotiate a deal with Microsoft over remote work requirements, while also limiting the number of outsourced QA workers who could be brought in on Bethesda's projects. The union didn't say who Microsoft is outsourcing QA work to, but it accused the company of ignoring requests to negotiate. They've continually given us the first proposal again and again. It's become obvious our different mobilization tactics have not worked. QA test lead Rihanna Eichner. Wow, that's a hard last name to pronounce. Eichner Sid.
Oh,
I feel bad for her.
Whatever.
Eichner Sid.
Oh my god, fuck off.
So, the one-day strike
I feel bad for her. Man, you have a boring name. You know that, right, Philip? P.P. Burnell? This dude. Of course, attack the family name. Yeah, man, feel bad for it. Shut up.
It's called an attempt to make Microsoft more receptive to addressing the union's concerns. Striking isn't fun or ideal, but there's a satisfaction in having a concrete physical action we can do to fight for better work conditions. Hopefully we can convince them to stop dragging their feet and meet us at the table. So, here we go. Many of the QA testers were hired during COVID. When remote work was more prevalent. Microsoft current requirements call for QA workers to be in the office 2 days a week. The union is asking for a more flexible remote policy. Okay.
You're not gonna believe how DSP interpreted what he just read. Like, I'm on a mission to prove to everyone this dude can't read. Like, I've never met anyone that I question more about their quality of reading than DSP. Like, it's astounding how he reads and what he gets from what he reads.
First off, I want to make it clear that I do stand for workers' rights.
No, you don't.
I feel that workers...
No, this is what he stands for. He stands for promoting workers' rights when it suits to make him look good. And to come off as caring. This dude, like, is so scummy. He wants to pretend so hard that he cares about workers' rights, but he really doesn't. When they were first unionizing, he was like, "So are they unionizing? The game Starfield sucks." And this says, like, dude, you're saying that they should not get better working conditions because the game that they made is bad. What? That's like really saying, hey, DSP, since you're doing such a bad, like, since Billy is not coming to work and he sucks at his job, we're not gonna give you a paid sick leave. We're not gonna give you a pay raise. We're not gonna treat you good out. We're gonna fuck you up because of what Billy did. You think DSP is gonna say, "I get it, guys. I understand. Billy should have picked up his weight. I'll take the hit." No, he complained and bitch about it. Like, workers should not, like, get punished just because the game is bad for a lot of other reasons, because things can go wrong in many different ways, whatever, right? Correct. Whatever, okay.
Particularly in the United States, have been mistreated many times by big corporations.
But DSP always pretends he pretended that he was part of the Blizzard boycott or the Blizzard Activision boycott. He pretended. I want to emphasize the pretend part because he still played the Call of Duty beta at that point and didn't want to buy it because the game sucked, not because of the protests that was going on or the boycott that they wanted people to follow through. He teased the idea of playing the Diablo 2 remaster anyway. He only pretended to be part of that boycott because he wasn't buying the games anyway. Guys, it is incredibly easy to participate in boycotts when it's a thing you're not gonna buy anyway. It's like saying, guys, boycott the Madden game because Madden is evil or whatever the fuck. Well, I don't buy Madden games anymore. The last one I bought was in 2005. Guess what? I'm not going to get any more Madden. I've not bought a Madden game since. I think it's a very easy ask for me to participate. Am I going to brag about that? No, because I wasn't buying the games anyway. Like, dude, come on.
And I think that if there's a chance that workers can get more rights or get treated more fairly, I'm 100% for it, okay? But now that I'm reading this article, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, I didn't read the article before today. I wanted to read it live and give you my honest thoughts. I have a question. They only work in the office 2 days a week, and they...
See what I mean? See what I mean? He doesn't know how to read. It's literally asking for schedule flexibility, and they work from home. Remote work. They do remote work. Which is work. And he's saying that they only want to work 2 days a week. Where did they say that exactly? They said that because, like, look at this. I hope I can go here, but I may have to rewind it to see the full article. Is it for an ideal for better work conditions? Hopefully, we can convince them. According to Dowell, the QA testers were hired during COVID pandemic when remote work was more prevalent. Microsoft's current requirements call for QA workers to be in the office 2 days a week, while the union is asking for a more flexible remote policy. Yeah, they're not saying that we only want to work less than 2 days a week. They're saying that they want a flexible remote policy so that they can like work from home still and all this other stuff. If anything, people have been wanting to work at home more often because a lot of times it helps increase worker efficiency sometimes. I mean, a lot of people like that option. But this dude is sitting there like, well, the only one working 2 days a week is too much for them. This is like when you go to school and they say, okay, guys, you have a quiz on Friday. Your homework is to study. And then he's like, cool, no homework. I can, like, fuck around. He's that guy. He's that guy. You know he's that guy that when the school says, guys, your homework is to study, and he just doesn't study because he says it's no homework.
I think that's too much. Wait, what?
What?
They only have to work 2 days a week in their office, and they're complaining.
They work from home, stupid! Read the article! What do you think remote work means? What do you think that means?
That's too much. They need more time for remote work. Really? And they're complaining that that's too much. They need more time for remote work. Really?
Do you know why they're asking for more flexible work conditions? Like, he's just writing off of what it sounds like. But do you know what that means when they go to work and they have to work for 2 days a week? Like, this dude is so dented. And he doesn't look into this. He doesn't say why maybe they want more flexible hours or more flexible conditions. I mean, some people just don't want the requirement at all. They just want to work from home because why do they need to go to work if they can work from home fine? If their work is just QA testing and they could do that from home, why do they need to go to another building to do that when they can work at home just fine? Like, it's kind of the same thing that people are talking about, like, remote schooling. They can do lectures and stream it to home and turn in assignments through the computer and all this stuff, and that worked just fine. So what is the problem with all this? Like, there's a lot of like things that you can like come up with, especially in the school example, like exams, like, well, how do we know you're not cheating, all this other stuff. But even then, you could just say, okay, maybe just come to school for the exam or go to an exam building or whatever the fuck. Like, there's workarounds for that. But for working, you can just have them work from home. Like, like, especially this kind of job where you're just doing quality assurance, or you're just testing the game. You can do that from home. There's really no need. You could say, oh, well, what if the game leaks? I mean, things are getting leaked even before QA remote working was a thing anyway. Okay.
Huh. The other thing that I'm finding very funny about this is they said they're going to go on a 1-day strike, okay? I don't think they understand the concept of a strike. Just so you guys know, the way a strike works is they say, hey, we refuse to work unless you give in to our demands. All right?
Maybe the 1-day strike is to like show them that they're serious. Like, hey, we can't strike, and this is gonna be 1 day we're not gonna be striking. And then if they, they're gonna negotiate again, and they could do another strike. Like, just because it's a 1-day strike doesn't mean that's it for strikes, and they'll never be able to strike again. Like, okay.
They're trying to get more, fair working conditions or better pay or whatever it is. Sometimes there's a contract that's being negotiated. If you say, we're going on strike, but it's only for 1 day, then that's not effective because they already know, your company already knows you're going to be back the next day. okay, we're going to miss 1 day of work, big deal. Is that really that big of a deal? No. A strike only works if you actually say we refuse to report to work until you give us what we want. And the thing is, that's a sacrifice because when people are on strike, they're usually not getting paid. So they're giving up pay in order to hopefully improve their situation long term as they continue to work at the company after the strike's over. 1 day makes no sense at all. It's literally going to be the most ineffective strike ever held. You're not supposed to give them the dates and times you're on strike. You're supposed to say, we're on strike until we get better shit.
Okay.
It's bizarre. Like, after the strike began, Microsoft issued a statement affirming the company's willingness to listen and address their concerns.
Oh, wait. Isn't that... Wait a minute. This is November 13th. This is... Oh, man. So this was already a thing that happened. So they already did the thing, and Microsoft responded with, we'll go to the bargaining table. So they did the strike and they were able to go to the bargaining table. What an ineffective strike, guys.
So did they give in?
Did they give in?
Let's take a look at some of these wonderful people on strike.
And I love that we're already mocking people who are on strike. This dude is a piece of shit. Fuck this guy. Like, I just love, right, that these people are protesting. And he's like, let's take a look at these people who are protesting. Was he explaining them to be all fat and, like, lazy? This dude is so lame. And they went to the bargaining table. And we probably won't know if they got what they wanted until, like, after the fact. Or whatever. Or we may never know. But this dude is sitting there like, did they give in? Let's take a look at these wonderful people. Why are you mad? Again, this dude acts as if he's a stockholder of Microsoft. And he has say in the company. Why is he mad that these people are protesting? They have a right to protest, I thought, right? This is... I mean, is this in America or is it in Australia? Because I think it's in America. No, yeah, America. Wow, I'm stupid, guys. It says Austin and Rockville, obviously. But this dude is sitting... I just got... For some reason, I see, like, CWA, and I just think of Australia for some reason. I was like, oh, is this a thing? But I'm stupid. But, they went out on fucking strike, and all this other stuff. That's their right. I thought that's their right. Huh? What is wrong? Say something. I love that. Is he gonna say, oh, look at this guy, he has thinning hair, and the guy on the left, look, he has a stomach, and he's fat. And that woman, she's wearing a mask outside. Wow, could talk about inefficient. And then, like, she has a chair, she can't stand with everyone else. Wow, DSP. What about Kat? Can she stand on her own? Dude, she can't even, like, change a console on the downstairs TV because he said that she didn't want to do that or whatever the fuck. Like, man, this dude is insane. I just love that he's shitting on these people for striking. You know, a thing that they have a right to do, right? In America, they have a right to protest. But I guess they don't, right? Why are you mocking them? Mister, I'm for the workers' rights. Oh, they want more flexible working conditions? What a bunch of idiots. They should be grateful and kiss the boots of fucking Bill Gates. Like, I just want to look at that again. He literally looks at this and does the fucking Office look. Like, this dude, I just want to give him a nice big punch in the fucking face. Like, look at this guy. Dude, it doesn't help the fact he's acting like this when he looks like that. And then he'd cry when people make fun of how he looks. I thought we don't make fun of people how they're born and how they look stupid. Fucking find a bridge and dump in bleach or whatever the fuck.
Let's go back to the article.
Why? What was that? Explain, Phil.
I don't have to say a word.
No, you do.
I don't have to say a single
Say
word.
a word. Say
All I had
say
to
it.
do was click on the pictures.
What was there? That was so bad. He had to click on the pictures. Let's just take a look at this picture. Okay. They're standing outside with signs. Remote works. Okay. Microsoft hire our contractors. Okay. Microsoft runs on trust. Okay. Um. I don't know what I'm laughing at. What didn't need to be said that I should intuitively know by looking at this picture of people who are striking, who are on protest? Does it, like, you realize these are just normal people? You can just find any picture of anyone striking and then just be like, look at them guys, they're protesting. Do you have a beard? Wow. Man, fucking shut up.
Let's go back to the article. I don't have to say a word. I don't have to say
it.
a single
Say
word.
something.
All I had to do was click on the pictures. Anyway,
This dude is such a piece of shit.
So,
man. He's such a piece of shit.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on this.
No, you're
I'll
not.
be honest. If they were fighting for better pay, if they were fighting for like, we all got laid off.
Oh, so they're not protesting correctly. Them wanting to work with more flexible hours, that is awful and stupid. They should have begged for more pay. Oh. Okay.
Off, and that's not fair. No, they're fighting for, we only work in the
Or
office.
that they should strike because they're laid off? This dude does not understand anything.
2 days a week, and that's too much for us. We need more time.
They're not working just 2 days, though! They're not working just 2 days! They're not! They said that they work from home, and they want more flexibility from that when they can work from home and they're required to go to the office. When they could also they could have very well protested that they don't need to go to the office at all because their job is just playing video games to see if there's any issues, and their job could be done at home. But they're asking for more flexible, conditions. That's not a crazy ask. This dude is acting as if working from home is the same as not working. But he doesn't know anything, and he works from home.
Time away. Now, perhaps the outsourcing is a problem. All right? But look, the union didn't say who Microsoft is outsourcing QA work to, but it accused the company of ignoring requests to negotiate. Negotiate what?
Oh my god. It's everything. They're saying because they're protesting for these two things. They didn't say this. But they're also ignoring the request to negotiate. Okay, whatever.
You don't have the evidence of anything. They're complaining.
They're not telling you who they're outsourcing because maybe they're not supposed to, or they can't. This is just a statement. You can believe or not. That's up to the reader. I guess that's the one thing in this that DSP has a point. That they may not have anything in there. They may not have evidence. But what if they do? You don't know, because they don't want to say it, because then if they said it, right, Microsoft may be able to hide the evidence. They may not want to come forward with it yet until it's something that's definitive or whatever, or they just want to keep it between the companies, whatever.
About outsourcing, but then they say they won't talk about the outsourcing. So do you have evidence that they're outsourcing work and your workers are losing their jobs? What are you talking about? Can you explain? No.
This wants to belittle.
I at first thought
for no
when I
reason.
covered this story, I was going to be 100%.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't, because you don't understand what remote work is. He literally thinks that remote work is the same as doing nothing. It's not a vacation. They're working from home. Like, oh my god. Because again, what if some of these workers have a family life, right? And they have a baby, and they can go to, and their other partner is also working, and maybe the 2 days that they have to go to the office, they can't, make that happen. What are they supposed to do? Stay home? Like, there's a lot of things that may get in the way of that, but he's not gonna fucking talk about that or think about that because he doesn't know. They need to tell him that. He needs to hear these stories. But then, if he does hear these stories, he might hit us with the, well, these are like exceptions and like minimal risk or whatever the fuck. And it's like, dude, the point is that they should have flexible work hours because they're still working. It's not that they're saying that they should work less. That's not what they're protesting.
On the side of the workers. But now that I read the story, I'm just like shaking my head like, what the fuck did they think they're doing? It's just going to be the most ineffective thing ever done.
I've never seen a dude beg workers to be unionized. Bethesda, of all companies, gets unionized. He starts off talking about it as if it was the worst thing to happen when they announced it. So does that mean it's gonna take forever for games now? All this shit. Just hated the idea off the start. Then they get the strike. Immediately complaining because he doesn't understand what remote work is. This dude never cared at all. Because this dude is a piece of shit LARPer that wants to pretend he cares for unions and all these other workers and all this other stuff because it benefits him to look that way. No way is he gonna sit there and say, yeah, we should crunch the employees to the pace and they should not be able to see their families ever again. Of course he's not gonna say that because why would anyone want to say that?
Done in the attempt to improve working conditions. A one-day scheduled strike where they're gonna get right back to work, complaining they're only working 2 days a week in the office, and that's too many, and then complaining about outsourcing.
It's not too many. They want flexibility. They just want flexibility. Like, they should not, like, it's just saying that they should not be punished if for some random week they can't go for the second day of work in the office, that they have to be punished for that. There's so many things to think about, but he doesn't want to.
But they don't have any evidence that it's existing.
Like, what? Didn't he? Again, if he doesn't understand why this might be a big deal, why doesn't he look up why it might be? Again, this article is only going into why they're protesting. The actual specifics as to why they want these flexible hours, he could probably find their Twitters and read why they're doing this. Or why they'd want that. Of course he doesn't, because he's a fucking idiot.
The one thing I will say, okay, I have heard that QA in gaming is an unforgiving job and really doesn't get a lot of credit or a lot of pay. I've actually heard that these people don't make that much.
Now, they don't make that much, but how dare they? Like, oh, okay, let's go with DSP's little thing here where it says that they want less work, which they're not even, whatever. Let's say they're doing that. If they're being paid less, right? You don't have good pay. Then maybe they should have like more flexible hours if they're already not getting paid enough. But I guarantee if they were begging for more pay or whatever the fuck, you would say that's too much and all this other bullshit. Like, come on. This dude is such a, it's funny, right? He's all about the workers and all this stuff, but he said nothing when fucking Bob Iger was like going on saying, these animators, they're asking for too much money, they're not being realistic, and then dump $80 billion on fucking Robert Downey Jr. to be in fucking Marvel. Like, what about that? What about all these animators that are losing their job to fucking dumbass generative AI? Oh, no, we're not gonna say anything about that. Nah, fucking choke.
Now, I actually don't know. I've never been into QA, but I was told, years ago when I started on YouTube, right? People were like, Phil, you always find all the bugs in games. Why don't you become a QA tester? And I looked into it and I was like, yeah, QA testers get paid like minimum wage.
Oh
and they have
yeah,
shitty
that's
hours, and
these
so
are
you're
the
not
ones
even
get
guaranteed
paid
that you're going to
like
have work at any
plebs.
given
He's
moment.
too good
And
for
it's very
that.
unforgiving work where you're just painstakingly replaying the same stages 5
It's
zillion times looking for
unforgiving.
bugs and
Fucking
issues.
find a
You know,
bridge,
you're
man.
basically you're trying to purposefully break a game to find what would break it, and it's not very fun, right? Like when I find a game bug, it's usually I'm playing a game and something hilarious happens that's obviously unintentional or unexpected. To them, they have to find these things, and that's their whole existence. That doesn't sound fun to me, you know? It's not, people think of it, oh, QA testers, that's like an amazing job. You get to sit there playing video games all day. You get to play new games early. I bet it sucks. I bet it really is like unforgiving, shitty ass work.
Okay.
Very tedious and annoying work, I bet.
Yeah, so how
So,
dare they want flexible hours for tedious work? Oh my god, dude.
Lady Charisma says, as someone who works remote for a company who used to demand we be in the office 3 days a week, it was found more work got done. I can't speak for all, but that's my experience. Lady Charisma, do you mean more work got done when you were in the office?
He just read the super chat. He just read it. He just read it. He just read it. He just read it. Do you mean more like, oh my god, dude, I'm losing it with this dude. Losing it.
Company who used to demand we be in the office 3 days a week, it was found more work got done. I can't speak for all, but that's my experience. Lady Charisma, do you mean more work got done when you were in the office or more work got done when you were remote? Which are you arguing for? Because I don't have any evidence either way. I'm a neutral party here.
Like, I've at least seen like some statistics on Twitter. I mean, I know Twitter, right? But I have at least seen at least more like people talk about the benefits of working from home than what DSP is saying. Like, whatever. I mean, come on.
I'm just trying to understand why people would be arguing against in-office performance
Because it's more convenient for people to stay at home, and home is like a comfy place. They don't want to go in a cold fucking building, go in traffic every day, and all this stuff that's like for a job that doesn't pay well. When they can just do the same work at home and get paid the same. Okay.
it's only 2 days a week. Remote. So you're saying better work got be done from home. I feel like in certain industries and certain kinds of work, probably the remote work does make more sense. Probably.
No shit.
And then some doesn't. I guess really what you'd have to have an evaluation of the work. Can we sit down
Dude,
and now
they're QA testers. They could do this from home. They can't do that from home. Okay.
analyze how much work are they getting done at home versus how much work are they getting done in the office? If they're actually getting more work done at home, why wouldn't you want them to work from home?
Because these stupid dumb fuck companies want to justify buying these leases or whatever the fuck with these buildings and all this stuff. Like, there's other reasons why they do that, which is like, and they also don't trust the employees because fuck the employees, right? Whatever. Like, it's all these other like things that go into it. Like, come on.
Right? Automata says the push for workers to return to offices is to bolster the commercial real estate industry. It's a house of cards. I have heard that when COVID happened, a lot of offices closed. A lot of commercial real estate basically failed because no one needed it anymore. And now what's happened is they want the industry to come back. So they're just saying, you got to get back to the office. It's like, yeah, but for what?
Loki, it's kind of funny though that on one hand you can also make they could have also easily made the argument these companies probably save more money if they worked from home because they don't have to spend money on bigger buildings. They could finally like downsize the building and have people who can work from home work from home. Think about that. But whatever, okay.
All my work from home, I'm completing all my work. Why do I need to be in the office? Too bad, just come to the office. So you can't even justify it. You just want me there physically as a body, but you can't even tell me why. It used to be, the argument used to be that when you have people working remotely from home, there's no supervision. So these people could be goofing around half the day and actually could have been producing twice as much work.
Low key, that's also kind of like a myth almost because I feel if people are goofing around, it would show in their work and then they just fire them. Like, it's just whatever, like... Okay.
But you just don't know, because there's no one watching them. If they're in the office, you can supervise them, make sure they're doing their jobs, you know what I'm saying?
But people can also fuck around in the office.
Maybe that's
too,
the
though.
argument.
Like,
but do they have any?
It's a bad argument either way, because if it's an argument of like, well, they'll goof around if they're at home, they can goof around at the office too. Like, it's a it's a moot argument. I mean, people can fuck around regardless, no matter where they are. But okay.
Evidence to back that up? It'd be like the movie Office Space, right? Where people are just fucking around half the day on purpose because
where
they
were
just don't
they
give a shit about their jobs.
But where were they fucking around? They weren't at home. I can tell you that much.
Disgruntled management and everything. They just don't care. So they're just basically like, hey, do the bare minimum. Who knows? But the thing is, we don't have the data. Like, the one piece of data that would have been interesting in that story is, hey, here's the statistics of how Microsoft has outsourced half of the QA team, and that's what they're upset about. When they were asked for the data about outsourcing, they said, we can't comment. We have nothing. So what are you talking about?
They just said they didn't want to share it.
Making stuff up, or are you just guessing? Like, that's not very effective to protest against with a strike then, is it? Right?
Well, good thing that's not the only thing they're protesting,
Lady
right?
Christmas says most companies make you install a watchdog program when you do remote work. So that way they're watching, making sure that you're doing your job. Interesting. Okay. Continuing on, we have many more stories to cover, folks. Our next story involves the Game Awards.
That registered nothing for him.
So, the Game Awards are about to announce their Game of the Year nominees and other nominees as well. This coming Monday at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So that means the nominees will be out, and we'll be able to talk about them on Monday's Level 1 podcast, okay? Now, FYI, the Game Awards only covers games up to a certain point. So sadly, I hate to say it, how can they announce nominees when games such as Microsoft Flight Simulator, Stalker 2, Marvel Rivals, Indiana Jones, and more have not released yet this year?
Whatever.
How do you know if they're good? How do you know if they could be Game of the Year contenders?
Like, it's the same thing with movies.
The answer is,
like, not every movie can go to the Oscar.
It's basically a broken system. This has been something that I've been criticizing the Game Awards for many years. They close off their nominations before the end of the year. And they do it on purpose because they did research and found out that award shows like this will perform best during this particular season because of the holidays and ad revenue.
I'm sure this
show is more profitable.
Something, but he's not a billionaire that can just throw a lot of money into this. It costs a lot of money, so of course they're gonna want to get sponsorships and commercials and ads and all this stuff because Jeff Keighley isn't a billionaire. I know, hard to believe.
Doing it that first week of December, then it would be. Actually, it's the second week of December this year. Then it would be if they delayed it till January, and then they could include all of the games that actually came out in 2024. Now, the problem is the way that Jeff Keighley spins this. He says, oh, well, don't worry. Any games that come out after our nominations cut off can be eligible for next year. The problem is there's not been a single instance where a game that came out at the end of the year ever was considered or in contention for a Game Award.
I got a question. What game came out in December of 2023 that needed to be in the Game of the Year? What game? Can DSP name a game that came out in December of that year that would be a contender for Game of the Year?
It always get forgotten. And that's bullshit. There are games that might be good coming out in the next month, and they deserve to be qualified for these awards like any other game. I don't get why they keep doing that. It's stupid. It's just, you will not remember a game from December of this year in November of next year. You won't even be thinking about it. It has to be within the last year for you to think about it and have it be considered for a Game Award. And he doesn't do that because he's greedy. It sucks because I think Jeff Keighley's a good guy. I do think that his mind's in the right spot. I do feel like he cares about the games industry.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
He does.
Okay? But I'm really sad that in this case, he does the wrong thing every year to get a bigger paycheck.
You know what was the highlight of the Game of the Year awards last year? The biggest highlight, you guessed it. Alpha was announced for Strive, and it was so cool. Everyone was jumping. Everyone was like, Alpha Valentine, and it had a great theme. Extras is a banger. Everyone, all the homies agree. We all love extras. If you hate extras, you're not a real fan, and you have no taste. But great song. Alpha is a lot of fun. They finally made her even more fun, in the game. I know, unbelievable.
'Cause that's the
We did
only
it.
reason he does it like this. If it was January, February, he'd have way less ads. He'd make way less money doing the show. Now it's in December, the holiday season. He could get tons of money for it.
There may be a
But then
trailer
the
for Venom,
awards
but I
essentially
don't
are not
care for that
valid.
character, honestly,
But the problem is
sadly.
people think they are.
I'm not a
And
Venom
every
head.
year you hear, oh, did you hear what won game of the year? Did you hear what won game of the year?
I
Yeah,
am
but it
more
doesn't
excited
matter.
for Unica.
The awards aren't
whatever,
official.
the
This is
Guilty
not
Gear
like, oh,
enemy
the
character.
Oscars. This is what he wants it to be. He
And
wants it to be the
Lucy.
Oscars for games. But
Obviously.
it's really not that at all. Who does he have vote on the games? Games journalists and insiders.
Oh, no.
Essentially, no
Who votes for the Oscars? Again, I might bring this whole story up way too much, but I'll keep bringing it up. Why not? I remember reading years ago about the Oscars when they award the animated movie award. They don't really care, and they have and I think it was either they just give it to Pixar because it's like, hey, it's Pixar, why not? Or they have their kids tell them what their favorite movie was, and it's always Pixar, so that wins. Like, they don't really watch the animated movies. So there you go. And
normal
there you go.
gamers. People who are in a different part of the industry that don't have the same interests that we do because they don't actually pay for video games. So because they don't pay, they don't have the same vested interest in money spent, money wasted. They vote for different reasons. They like games for different reasons than we do because they're not real gamers.
They're not
So
real gamers.
the awards are pretty invalid. That's why
Let's
you always
gatekeep
kind of see a
gaming.
misalignment in games that win. I mean, shit, one year, I think like you had a game, wasn't it, what was the year that this fighting game won? Everyone laughed at it and they were like, it's not even really a fighting game.
I think it was
can't remember.
Sifu. Or at least Sifu was nominated, but people were like, this isn't a fighting game. Why
But it
was
just didn't make any sense.
like, so there's that.
Some of the nominees always are weird. And it's because it's game journalists doing it, not fucking gamers. You don't even understand what a game is. They'll misclassify a game in the wrong genre. So stupid.
Okay. So stupid.
So anyway, it is what it is.
Do you know even
Game
who-
awards are
but
coming
who made
up.
the
I know you guys are going to want to
nominations,
have me talk about
Whatever,
it. So that's going to be
okay.
a topic that we'll be discussing soon.
though? I don't think they vote on the
next Monday,
nominations.
when the
They vote
nominees
on the
come out.
winner.
Okay? By the way, I just want to apologize to Spawn Killer. Spawn Killer did a super chat and I missed it.
Okay.
We just got wrapped up with the new releases. It was a really outstanding entire run that I've been a YouTuber. Sponsorship. I've seen the,
Where did that
I
skip
could have been a
out?
bigger guy. I could
You could have been a big
basically sleep well at night, knowing that the content that I was putting out was original. I refused to play the game. Where I am is, I could have been a bigger guy. I could have been a guy like a Rad Brad or something like that, but
Brad.
I never played the game. I refused
This dude cried about how he couldn't get sponsorships because of trolls. Now it's he refused.
to play the game. Instead, I wanted to be my own guy, and that way I could basically sleep well at night, knowing that the content that I was putting out
So then why'd you
was
play
original,
LOL?
fun, and genuine.
Why did
Wasn't
you play
me simply saying or doing something
the
because
bounty
I was
boards?
receiving
Why was
monetary
that such a
compensation
big
for it,
deal?
but instead it was because I actually cared about the content.
Okay.
You see me games, you don't hear other gamers. There's a good reason for that. It's because netcode is not very good for fighting games, and the whole FGC can't stop kissing the ass of people who put rollback netcode into their games. There's a good reason for that. It's because I'm honest, and they're
Yeah,
being honest.
he's
And
still
so,
mad about rollback.
when I see
netcode.
Jeff Keighley, a guy who I actually do
you
feel
should
is
play Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2 on the PlayStation 4 because that has his favorite netcode.
good for the industry and cares about gaming, taking the bag by running.
Taking the back.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
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 What did I just click? Okay, I thought I
Okay.
fucked up. Okay. So,
Okay.
our next story, folks.
Okay. Okay.
This is a weird one.
This is a weird one. As he looks to God. Okay, I don't know if I want to watch this because this is just saying, oh, this is a bad
This is one that admittedly
commercial.
I'm confused and scratched.
Well,
Craig
that's kinda
McNary, the senior director of Else Well
Like-
at All.
lightning round is.
What about their console? Have you heard? I think it's been a pretty bad. Right? White Mojo Wolf says they make the best 7 out of 10 games. There you go.
Okay, let's move on.
Bold, iconic, fun visuals, and a lighthearted tone. Launching today, the campaign will come to life in a variety of ways. So,
I don't think this is a good ad campaign.
here is their
Like, I
new
get what-
marketing.
What they're
This
going
is an
for,
Xbox,
but
and it shows an Xbox Series
it's-
X. This is an
It just
Xbox
looks
for your lap, and it shows a
bad.
laptop.
It just
It's
looks
an
bad
Xbox
to
that
me.
tags along, and
I'm like watching this, and this looks all AI generated. Like if you told me this was AI, I would believe you.
believe that is what is that called? It's one of the handheld devices. I don't know if that's the
Ragala.
Steam or the ROG Ally. I don't know which one that is.
The
It's
ROG
one of the
Ally.
handheld devices, correct? This is a cat box.
Okay. Wow. Wow, man.
How clever. Yes, I'm aware. There's a cat coming out of it. It must be a cat box, right?
Oh,
Wow.
dude, I love DSP hating these stupid puns when he does stupid puns all the time.
This is an Xbox that goes on the wall, and it shows a smart TV. This is an Xbox that makes calls, and it shows a smartphone. This is a bento box.
Okay.
The Amazon Fire TV, and that is the actual Amazon Fire stick that you plug into your TV. This is an Xbox that you wear, and then it shows a VR headset. This is still an
I love he's explaining this as if for like fucking
Xbox,
Oh, I guess
and it shows the Xbox Series S. This is an immersive takeover. Oh, I'm immersed. I am very immersed. When you showed me that cat box and the bento box,
all right.
Understand what an Xbox is. It's equally important to understand what is not an Xbox. So to bring this to life, we've had some fun and labeled "This is not an Xbox" on non-Xboxes in unexpected places, while also featuring our "This is an Xbox" campaign visuals across San Francisco, Atlanta, Chicago, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, London, New York, and Berlin to highlight all the devices are part of Xbox. So what they have done, they've actually gone throughout these major cities of the world and put up posters such as, "This is a cat box."
Okay.
This is a partnership. To further extend This is an Xbox, we partnered with several brands, including Samsung, Crocs, Porsche, and the Happy Egg Company in the UK to help bring the campaign to life in unexpected and entertaining ways. This is a pair of Xbox. You got the console and then the portable device.
Whoa.
This is an eggs box, and it shows a carton of eggs.
Okay. All right. Samsung, this is a Samsung TV. This is But honestly though, like this at least like the one with the eggs and the cat and the bento box, that's kind of stupid. This at least makes more sense. I just think like these are just kind of lame ads, especially for like a console company to make. Like they want to sell an Xbox. Why are they selling this? Like it's just kind of weird.
Then they show an ad on a building somewhere.
But I just don't like how
hold
the ads
on.
look.
They have gear. Oh, I need to jump on this right away. I need to unload my wallet, right? Definitely for this campaign. Just look at this. Who wouldn't want a t-shirt that says, "This is not an Xbox," right? I mean, you know what? I need to get a shirt that I
Okay, man, this ad is probably
with a show-stopping
even worse
library of
now
iconic
because of
franchises and
PSP.
upcoming games, including Call of Duty Black Ops 6. That's on everything. That's not an Xbox exclusive.
But they're bringing it up because it's part of Game Pass and they want you to fucking become a subscriber. So and they didn't say it was an exclusive. DSP, learn to read.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Well, technically that's Xbox PC exclusive, correct? That's not on Sony. And same thing with Microsoft Flight Simulator,
Whatever.
right? I love how they had to wedge in Call of Duty, which has nothing to do with being an Xbox exclusive because it's cross-platform. They had the chance to make it exclusive.
The Xbox wants you to buy Game Pass. Guess what's on Game Pass?
But they chose not to, right?
Oh my
God. I mean, so let's scroll back. Wait a minute. What the fuck? Look at this.
Look at this. Wow.
This is, I'm not kidding you, Craig McNary. All right?
Okay, let's harass this guy.
Craig McNary. Hold on.
Craig, we're coming for you. The sons of Phil Spencer are coming.
Here he is. He's on LinkedIn. Oh, I gotta sign in.
Oh, wow. DSPvlogging at gmail.com. KO Gaming at gmail.com.
Well, I don't want to sign in.
What's KO Gaming?
I wanted to see I wanted to see
Why does he want to look
his
at
history. Like I wanted to see
Why?
his employment history, and I wanted to see
Why?
where he went to school.
What?
But you can't see that unless you make an account, which
Why are you doing this? Why? 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 Dude, when I see a bad ad campaign, I'm like, now, okay, this guy right here, this fucker, this piece of shit, right, says, okay, if you don't like me, then just say, my video sucks, and then you move on, man. Okay, like normal people. This dude sees an ad campaign he doesn't like. Okay, where did he go to school? Where did he work? I didn't know where he's from. And by the way, this is just a dude that just works a advertising job or whatever. Meanwhile, DSP is a public icon, I guess you could say. Think about that.
is real shit, right? What about Craig McNary, alma mater?
Oh my god, dude, why? Why? Why is he going after
International
this
Academy,
guy?
what? I want to know where he went to school. That's all I want to know.
Oh
and you
my
can't
God,
apparently find it out
why?
unless you
Are you
get
gonna go
you get
to
the fucking
school? Are you gonna go to a school?
you make an account at LinkedIn. That sucks.
This
That's
is where
really
you
stupid.
graduated, guys.
What if I click on this? Now it just shows his posts. Oh, that stinks. Well, the reason.
Oh my god, dude! Look what it said. Great to spend time today at my alma mater, UW Foster MBA, discussing Xbox. DSP was looking for this dude's alma mater. It's right here. He tells you what it is, and he does, and he's like, I can't find it. Again, I am not gonna rest until people realize, they wake up and realize DSP's illiterate. He just can't read. He just doesn't know how to read. It says it right here, and he just, I can't find it.
Now it just shows his posts. Oh, that stinks.
It was right there. He was looking right at it.
The reason I asked is because I just wanted to see. I guarantee you,
he was looking
this
right
man
at it.
probably went the toppest of the top. Oh, you found it? University of Washington, Masters of He has MBA at the University of Washington. Okay.
Okay.
But here's why I ask. All right, people like this
I bet you he was hoping he went to Yale. Oh, did he go to Yale?
guy. All right. This guy probably went to top schools, very expensive schools, okay? He's probably been
Oh my god, dude.
affluent most of his life, if not his whole life. Probably born with a silver spoon in his mouth. And went to the best schools, high-end, gets a high-end job, the head of marketing for Xbox.
This dude is fucking insane.
Okay? His campaign is literally, hey, you can go and you can play Xbox on anything. So basically what you're telling me, number one, is that Microsoft has completely given up on...
People have said this about Microsoft for fucking years, man. It's not new to say that Microsoft, like, doesn't want to sell their fucking console. This isn't like rocket science. He's acting as if this is like big news, like a bombshell. Guys, Microsoft is not selling consoles anymore. DSP Phil Spencer tells us this every time he gets a chance to.
Any efforts to actually like
And
sell a
guess
console?
what? People like DSP has enabled this. Because guess what? He's a fucking Game Pass shill. He tells everybody, guys, Game Pass is the future. Guys, Game Pass is great. Game Pass. And look what happened. Because of fucking DSP and his Game Pass shilling.
Console. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about the Series X or S anymore. They've given up. They've thrown in the towel. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, that's sad. Because they were a big competitor with the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and now the Series
The
S and X.
Xbox One?
In fact, this console
Sure about
gen,
that?
the Series S and X,
Sure about that?
are fabulous game consoles. You know, the
The
only
Xbox
drawback,
One was like the
right, is
downfall.
that the S
beginning.
cannot do anything better than like 1080p, like it's not meant to. But it can play 1080p
He slurped and defended the Xbox Series S so hard because he bought that for Cat, by the way.
games fine. The
And-
X can go a little better. It can do some 4K. It can do
man.
some, higher frame rates. They're great consoles. I would argue the Series X is on pace or on par with the baseline PS5. They are definitely competitors. The problem is the marketing didn't align the console to be a competitor.
I would not say the marketing that was the problem for Xbox. It just isn't. It really isn't. It's these decisions that made to focus on Game Pass is the problem here, and buying companies.
When did you hear the marketing about how Series X should be in line with PlayStation 5 and you should buy one today? Right? Did you hear that? I mean, I've told you that from trying it and playing it. I told you it's pretty much on par. It's the same graphics. It's got the same games, right? People have asked me this console gen, which do you prefer? I don't really. They're both good. So,
No, wrong. He said all the way since he got this fucking thing that he loved the Series X because of Game Pass, and this dude just abandoned Game Pass so fast because this dude got a gaming PC. This dude is such a liar.
why doesn't Microsoft act like that? Right? Instead, they've literally given up. They're saying, what we want to do is we want to push Game Pass now. Like, Game Pass is the future, and we don't care how you...
DSP said Game Pass was the future too. You know what? Let's see if Pig Goo can back that up. Oh man. Pig Go. Maybe this one will help.
to go to Game Pass in the future, it's not like something you'd be interested in playing. If it's on Game Pass, I have no reason to not try it. You know what I mean? Like,
You know what I mean?
or future Game Pass nights, future Game Pass marathons, or maybe full playthroughs if we have openings down the line this year. If you guys would like to.
Oh, it's a little muddy with just saying the future ideas of what he could use Game Pass for. But he loved Game Pass. This dude loved Game Pass.
Play games. We don't care if it's on the Series X, a laptop, a handheld device that we didn't make, a smart TV we didn't make, a phone we didn't make, the freaking, Fire Stick that we didn't make. That's all good. As long as you're playing our games, we're happy. And I understand that. Like, I know that Game Pass, if more people subscribe to Game Pass, they would become more profitable. But it's like they lost the script somewhere. Like, you are supposed to be a console maker and competitor. That's what an Xbox is. So what they're doing with this campaign, they're essentially saying Xbox is no longer a game console.
He loves
Xbox
highlighting
is a
stuff.
concept
Like this little mouse stuff he does
just
is so
playing games.
cringe.
And anything you
whatever.
can play, any game related to Microsoft on, is an Xbox. Well, that's great, but then why do we need an Xbox console? You've literally, in your own ad campaign, said that your consoles are obsolete and not needed. Because I can buy any of these other devices that would serve other purposes. Like a laptop, sure, I could play games on it,
Yeah,
but I could also...
because they
So if I
wanted
could play...
Oh my god, dude, he doesn't understand. Xbox has been shifting to subscription stuff all the time. It's why a lot of people are dooming about the future of gaming. This is why people are dooming about it. Because they're afraid that all these companies are going to start doing subscription-based models for buying games. Because there's a lot of incentive to do this, and people are like afraid that they're going to do this because guess what? They can remove games very easily with subscriptions. Oh, okay. Oh my god, I did not want to rewind.
Wait, I can play your games on my phone? Why the hell do I ever need this? Their marketing campaign is self-defeating. He came up with, hey, fuck it. Forget the consoles. We're losers in that regard. So let's change our entire face of our marketing because we give up. Wave the white flag. Oh, you know, the reason that everything's going bad is because gaming's in a slump right now. Right? Gaming is really bad. We can't sell games because, you know, the industry's on a downturn. No, it's not Phil Spencer.
No,
at
Phil
all.
Spencer, no.
Games are selling like hotcakes. Tons of games this year were huge sellers.
I hate hotcakes.
It's not yours.
It's not yours.
Literally every game but yours sold. Yours can't sell because you don't make good games. If you make good games, people would then buy them. And then people would say, hey, what's the console to play them on? The Xbox. But instead, you don't have any good games. So when you don't have any games, this is what you do. You cope. And this whole campaign is a cope mechanism saying, oh, you eggs. Oh, look, a cat box. Oh, look, a bento.
He learned cope and everything is a cope to him. Kamala Harris, their concession speech? That's a cope, bro. She coped. She coped so hard. She went on stage and said she conceded the election. What a cope.
It's not funny.
You're coping.
It's pathetic. It's embarrassing. This guy is the head of marketing. He's a clown. Coping. He's a literal clown. He thinks this is a good ad campaign for the company. This ad campaign literally hurts the company and its image in every way, shape, and form.
Oh my god. Is he gonna blame all of this on fucking Craig? My guy. Microsoft did this to themselves. They did this. He's just doing what they want. They were like, okay, we want an ad that conveys that our product is on everything. And Craig was like, I got you, bro, and did this. If they told me, okay, Craig, we want you to make an ad campaign to make people buy an Xbox Series X and S, and he does this, yeah, that's a bad idea. But guess what? Microsoft wanted this ad. They wanted this ad. They paid Craig to come up with this.
And buy a competitor's device to play their games on. Don't buy a
competitor's device, dude. Where's the PlayStation in that? I mean, I guess the ROG Ally is the competitor, but it's still a handheld. It's a completely different format. The laptop, the phone, these are not competitors. They're embracing them as a way to sell the subscription. Oh my god.
Buy ours, we give up. Just play our games on other devices. Well, what?
It's astounding he's mad at the wrong thing. In all of this, he's wrong. He's mad at the wrong thing to be mad at.
Games. You haven't explained what games yet. And you scroll to the bottom, Call of Duty. That's on everything. That's even on Sony. That's on your competitor. What are you talking about?
It's on Game Pass. You have to buy it everywhere else. You don't have to pay $70 to play it.
This guy probably thinks this is the most clever idea ever. What a memester.
Okay, we're just gonna
Xbox.
Skip ahead.
Going to get Game Pass or buy an Xbox game or do anything to benefit your company because this is the ad campaign you created, a defeatist mentality that makes you look like a loser. It looks like you have a limp dick.
Oh my god.
No one wants to give you money if your dick is limp.
Then why do people give you money? Bleh.
What is wrong with you? And this is who's in charge of their marketing.
But this is what Microsoft wants, though.
Good lord.
Again, he's blaming the wrong guy.
And I'm just a normal dude. I can say this. What the fuck? Where did the years of education and money go? Where did this guy get,
dude,
all of this from? Like, what is happening? Why do you think? Seriously.
Dude, Microsoft did this because you can get Game Pass on other platforms. What do you think that they want? Why would they want an ad campaign to advertise you can get Game Pass on everything? Who would possibly want that, right? Because, again, they made this decision to make this everywhere. Of course they're going to have an ad campaign to illustrate that. This dude is so dumb. Again, he's mad at the wrong thing. The reason why I don't like the ad campaign is I just think it's the jokes about a cat box and sushi is like dumb. Like, why bother with that? Secondly, they don't look good. They just look like AI generated images to me. And thirdly, like, It's more just about the company at that point. But those are the two main reasons. I just don't like it for those two
Seriously,
reasons. It just
why
doesn't
do you
look
think
appealing to look at.
the games industry is in a slump? It's not because games are bad. It's not because times are tough. It's because
why would I look at cat box and then the bento box or in the eggs and think I want an Xbox now? Like that's kind of dumb. But everything else is like I can at least understand why they'd market a laptop and a phone. I can understand that. That I can comprehend. But the fucking eggs, no, that makes no sense. Is this for the lulz? And
these
that's
are the clowns
awful.
in charge. The clown show continues.
But he's mad at the
At
wrong
Xbox.
thing.
They've
It's
got some of the
so
worst leadership.
weird.
The head of marketing thinks this is their best marketing campaign they've ever come up with. It's literally their worst. You remember those gross out ads of the 1990s? You'd be reading like a game magazine, and it would be like a giant jar full of toenail clippings. And they'd be like, oh, this will
man.
sell a game console. I think it actually would more than this. Like, that
I'm
would actually
surprised you
sell
didn't bring up that one. I remember
hardware
this
or-
one ad. I think it was for Osworld, whatever the fuck. It was on Xbox, and it was in a magazine. I hated the ad. Every time I would open the magazine, it would just be. It was like underwear full with green goo or whatever the fuck. And I was like, why the fuck is this an ad? Like, I don't want to see this.
or a game better than this. Literally, what on earth, when you're looking at this, where here do you see yourself spending $1 on anything Xbox? How does this convince you to spend $1? If anything, maybe you get hungry because you saw the bento box, or maybe you think you want to go pet a cute kitty. I don't want to buy any games or spend any money with this ad campaign at all.
That.
That's the whole point of
I don't want to
marketing.
be in the
You
same
make
room
people
where
want
a
to
cat's
spend
taking
money
a
on your
shit.
product and business. This guy is the head of marketing at Xbox. He doesn't even understand what the point of the marketing is.
I respect my brother's cat's privacy. Thank you very much. If they want to take a shit in the
I've
litter
had
box, I let them
2
go.
classes about marketing in college, and I think I learned more about marketing in the 2 classes I took than this guy did, and he's the head of marketing at Microsoft. Hey, Mr. Spencer, can you give me a call? Within 10 minutes, I will come up with a better
Mr.
ad campaign
Spencer.
than this entire
do it.
multi-million-dollar thing you're working on right now. I will give you a better ad campaign. I swear to God. I will at least sell 1 gamer console with my campaign.
One gamer console. What a low bar to hit. I mean, I'm sure you could just stumble into selling 1 console without trying.
I swear,
I
I can do
swear.
better than this clown. This is ridiculous. Why are you failing? Because you have horrible people working for you who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, Phil Spencer, he's the one that wants the
Holy
Game Pass
fucking
thing.
shit.
Holy fucking shit. Is that it?
Well, folks, we do have one more piece of stuff to
Oh, man.
talk about in the game news section.
Oh, God.
Avowed has its
Avowed.
final trailer. All right? Avowed has its final trailer. It
All right,
just
we'll watch this.
got released this morning. They're calling it the pre-order trailer, and it has dumped basically the release date of the game in it, and has shown off some gameplay mechanics.
It
and
didn't sound like
graphics.
it was a mistake. Like, they weren't supposed to.
Allow us to watch this together. This will be the end of the show. Let's watch the Avowed pre-order trailer. Here we go. Ready? In beautiful 4K resolution. No, it's 10. Here we go. In beautiful 4K resolution. Ready? Here we go. By the way, my stream isn't 4K.
Okay, so we're not going to see it in 4K then.
You must be our Imperial envoy.
Oh, he thinks it's cartoony graphics.
Better
by the
late than
way.
never, I say.
Yeah, it's colors equal cartoon.
I'm about ready to get started.
Alright. This looks woke, guys. I don't know, man. Woke? I don't know, man. I think it's
That's it.
pretty woke. I'm gonna stick with
And then they go to their Xbox.
Dragon
logo,
Age
okay?
Veilguard. I'm gonna go back to
So-
that game.
That's Avowed. So, just watching that a little bit, I got a couple things to say.
Okay,
All
wait.
right. Number one, it kind of looks like Skyrim, right? Doesn't it? It looks
Okay.
like maybe a little bit more of our cartoonish version of Skyrim. But interestingly enough,
because that's colors, of course.
it actually looks like it performs like Skyrim. You know what I'm saying?
You can
Like,
tell that in 40 seconds.
it doesn't look like a modern game, does it? That looks like a game that's like a console gen or two behind,
Okay.
or like 10 years outdated, but with like upscaled graphics. At least from what
Maybe
I saw
the
there.
graphics
Did you
weren't the
notice
important
that
thing.
the character models didn't even really sync with what they were saying? Like the woman was like, "I'm ready for action" or whatever. For what?
What? Okay, now I want to rewatch this.
10. Here we go. In beautiful 4K
Because there was
resolution.
no audio. It was all.
Ready?
There
Here we
was
go.
no audio.
By the way, my stream isn't 4K. Okay.
You must be our Imperial envoy. Better late than never, I say.
Okay, like I guess that guy's. But how do you know that's what he said then? Like, was there subtitles?
You must be our Imperial envoy. Better late than never, I say.
And like, whatever. It's like it's such a minuscule thing to bring
I'm
up.
about ready to get started.
Oh,
Never, I say.
okay, it's that. It was that line. Why did he bring up the other guy though?
I'm about ready to get started.
Yeah, how does he know that audio line belonged in that scene? And even if it did, it's still kind of nitpicky. It's a nitpicky scene to break to like look at
That's
that.
it.
The lip syncing didn't match.
And then
like,
they go to
dude,
their Xbox
This is
logo.
like
That's
that one Twitter post where a dude cried about a blade of grass in a game, and people are like, "We're gonna be crying about a blade of grass." Okay, man.
So,
Okay, dog.
that's a vow. So, just watching that a little bit, I got a couple things to. But interestingly enough, it actually looks like it performs like Skyrim. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look like a modern game, does it? That looks like a game that's like a
I love
console
that we get to
gen
look
or
at
two behind,
Rakita
or
crime
like 10
family
years
drama
outdated,
on X.
but with like upscaled graphics.
Like, this-
At least from what I
setting
saw
it
there.
right
Did you
there.
notice that the character models didn't even really sync with what they were saying? Like the woman was like, "I'm ready for action" or whatever. Her mouth was like, It's like, what happened there?
Okay, what if
You
it?
know,
but
you
what
know,
if-
and
Okay, what if it's gonna have a multiple language dub? Like it's gonna have English, Japanese, and whatever the fuck. Like maybe they did it for that.
I'm curious
Whatever.
why.
Why?
That's bizarre to me.
Why?
You would think that
How does he know that belongs in the scene?
in
That's the other
regards to this
thing.
game, they would want it to look modern. It doesn't. It kind of looks older, outdated to me.
But again, what if
It was at 60
what if
frames
it's
there,
more about the gameplay?
so that was 60 frames per second. So that's good. I wonder if it'll actually run higher than that. I think honestly, the only thing that's holding it back is the graphics. The gameplay looked fine. Again, it kind of looks like Skyrim to me.
Okay.
And if it's another Skyrim, you know, all these years later, I think I'm okay with that. I think we need another Skyrim because there's no Elder Scrolls game coming out anytime soon. We know this. We know that
we know this.
Bethesda has lost their way.
They lost their way. They made one
And they're
bad
not
game.
making
and it's
good or
over.
many games
it's
anymore.
over, guys.
They
lost
they're
their
kind of
way.
screwing
Made
up.
one bad
And
game.
it looks like it's going to take them forever for the new Elder Scrolls to come out.
Do you know how long a
So
game
because of
makes,
that, we kind of need a
takes to
fantasy
make?
game like this, I feel. I think this might
No, we
make sense.
don't. We
It's
have
going to fill
play
in
metaphor.
a gap, a niche that's empty right now
No,
that we
it's
need
not.
something for. Correct?
Shut up.
Well, at the same
Keep
time,
crying. got
I'll
Baldur's
be
Gate
honest,
3.
it didn't look great. It looks underwhelming when it comes to the graphics. And I think sadly what's going to happen is the game will come out and a lot of people will be very skeptical
Remember,
about
guys,
getting
he's
it
not
because
a
they're going to say the
graphic
graphics don't look very
aficionado.
good. Right?
Right?
It is made by Obsidian. Obsidian is the same studio
I
that
love
made
these people
Fallout New
who are
Vegas
like, gameplay,
as well
gameplay,
as
gameplay. They see a game
the
that
Outer
has like bad
Worlds.
graphics.
And
Guys, the graphics. What about
They
the graphics?
wanted to make an Elder Scrolls game.
All right, I do not care about this
Didn't have the
trivia.
resources to make it as gameplay wise it might be great, story wise it might be great, but if it doesn't look so good, a lot of people are going to complain about that, right?
Okay, but I thought you don't judge a book by the cover.
So anyway,
right?
Avowed, am I sold on it? Well, the thing is, it's on Game Pass, so I don't
Oh.
really have to be sold on it. I got Game Pass. I'm going to keep Game Pass. So when
You
February
still
18th
keep
swings
Netflix,
around,
whatever.
I'll be trying out Avowed and see if I like it or
Wow.
not. And I guess we judge then if that's something that we want to keep playing. So there you go.
There you go.
Solid release date, February 18th. You know, judge as you will. For me, I think the game will probably be good, but I think people will be misjudging it because of graphics, which is unfortunate. I wish that the game actually looked a little better there in its final form, but I guess it is what it
my
is,
final
right?
form.
Okay, so folks, that is
Okay. Thank you for watching. We're not gonna get into the politics right now because it's already a 2-hour video. I think you guys can relax and I know not a lot of people enjoy the political side of a lot of things, which is fine. So I think if I ever do more of these political videos with DSP, they'll just be their own standalone video. I'm not gonna combine them, uh, because you know. But this is what I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna be watching this archive. I don't know if he privates or deletes the archive after a while, but I think I should be able to watch it soon. But thank you for watching. It was fun. We learned a lot. DSP is an idiot and he doesn't understand how life works, but we all knew that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good time and remember,
Time to skedaddle on
time
out
to
of here.
skedaddle on out of here, as the great Jacko once said. Bye.